Welcome to Just a Bit Outside, the baseball movie podcast brought to you by Bucko Banter. Today we break down The Bad News Bears from 1976, which answers the age-old question, who is more capable of showing basic human emotion? A washed-up, alcoholic minor league baseball player or a little league team full of seventh graders?
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Or the steak by the plate, send in case after case. Run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snakes.
All right, Mr. Miller, we're back. We're post-Thanksgiving, ready to break down a little bit of baseball history and movie history here. This Bad News Bears original was 1976. I found out just from you a moment ago that there's a trilogy and a remake, and this one's been kind of
and a TV show. There's a TV
endlessly
show.
redone, requoted, remade, etc., etc. But this is the original. This is the oldest one, and you can certainly tell it's the oldest one.
It sure is from the 70s.
It sure is from.
It sure is.
And I'll tell you what, even some of the stuff for 1976, I watched this movie with my mother, and she was like, when did this movie come out? The 60s?
Yeah, because like Smokey and the Bandit doesn't do this. Like, Burt Reynolds isn't out here using this kind of language.
We were watching this, and we'll get to the scene in question, but just to preface it, we were watching this movie, and my mom looks at me and she goes, I know what's happening on this week's podcast. I know Chris is going to lean in and go, is that cool? And she had to do that multiple times.
I feel like I don't even think I need to ask it about that part because
it's not cool.
It's not cool.
Not cool. So
we're not even at the 30-minute mark, and they're just like, hey, here's some slurs.
It is. They are playing fast and loose with some of the dialogue in this one. So let's get cracking on this. We have April 7, 1976 release date. This is the original Bad News Bears, starring Walter Matthau, Vic Morrow, Tatum O'Neal, and Jackie Earl Haley. And brought to us by director Michael Ritchie, who we've discussed twice before.
Friend of the podcast.
On this podcast already. He directed The Scout. And what was the he's from Waukesha.
Yeah, it's the same place that Stan the Man Ross lives.
So there's a common thread amongst everything that we have discussed so far. And I thought about Alex Stumpf's kind of philosophy on baseball movies as I was watching this one, but I got a little bit more cynical with it even, I think.
I don't think Al was that cynical about it. Like, I think he had a definite point there, and it was more wholesome. Like I said, it was nice to hear human emotion from Alex.
That is true. I got more cynical than my take on that, I should say, because I responded to him with some cynicism, and I got even more cynical watching this movie. Of all the movies we've watched so far, it's just about like a bad guy or a guy who is just incapable of showing emotion, and then something has to happen to him that is baseball being the catalyst, and then he's like, oh, wow, I can finally learn how to be a real human person. And almost every movie we've watched so far is just that rope.
I always call it the Ebenezer Scrooge moment. And it's super cool that we get one from Matthau, because Mathau's a bad guy in this.
He's the worst guy that we've had so far.
Yes.
So
yeah, let's not good.
Let's start with him being the bad guy. The first scene of the movie opens up. It's the first on-field scene. He pulls into the parking lot. He opens his cooler, has his beer, cracks the beer, pours out a little bit, and you're like, interesting. And then he tops it off with liquor in the beer.
Little Jim Beam, little glass hip flask. Makes himself a little parking lot Boilermaker. Could be the
first scene in the movie. I mean, that could be the move.
Could be the move.
Before you go and start coaching your Little League baseball team, not the move. But
Yeah,
this is how we open it up.
I definitely had a series of little league coaches that had a couple parking lot brewskis.
Yeah,
I think
this guy.
that's really what separates. Like that's what makes a young man, like a boy into a young man. Just getting berated by an alcoholic little league coach.
We next see a child on a motorcycle. We find out that he is also in 7th grade. He is riding a motorcycle around. Too cool for all this baseball stuff. That's for
He's
that's
not
for
what he's not
losers.
doing. He's not playing baseball with these dorks.
He's not at all. He's riding around. He's ripping heaters. He's jumping motorcycles. He's too cool for school.
Got some sick 1970s harness boots on.
He's a cool guy. Then we see Toby and his father. And we come to find out that Toby's dad works for, I don't know, town hall, city council, something.
Yeah, he's city councilor.
He got super pissed that there was not another team in this league. So he sued the league. In response to that, they added another baseball team to the league.
Yeah, an odd number.
Just so Toby could play baseball, and they got all the odds and ends of whatever scoundrels were left over in the 7th grade to play on this baseball team. Seemingly none of them ever having played baseball before, realistically. So we see next, there's a great scene here where Morris Buttermaker is Walter Matthau's character. We find out that he is a former minor league player, quite a good minor league player. He says later on in the movie that he never made the bigs because of contract disputes, but we are led to believe that most likely it's because he has a terrible alcohol problem, and he cannot control his emotions in any way, shape, or form whatsoever.
Correct.
There is a scene where he's in the equipment room smoking a Black and Mild with his portable Boilermaker, and he is drinking it. And there's a sign right behind him on the wall that says "No smoking, no alcohol," which is great. Loved that.
That's everything you need to know about him. He's not playing by anybody's rules. He's a wild card.
That's it. We also find out that what is this washed up former minor league player doing to make ends meet?
He's a pool cleaner. He's a marginally successful pool cleaning company.
He is a pool cleaner who is getting paid from Toby's dad to coach this minor league baseball team.
Yeah, for an undisclosed amount of money, but he does make it a point of really wanting that check.
Yeah, let's get that check.
As Toby's dad is rolling around in his was it a big Mercedes? I don't remember.
Something. He's a fancy guy.
It was a fancy European sedan, a well-appointed European sedan. And I mean it's kind of ratty, but I mean Boilermaker is riding around in a Cadillac convertible, so it's kind of like he had some money, but now it sucks. You know, you can see like the roof's torn and stuff. So
no, I will say this:
whacking Boilermakers in it.
You just did this, and this is a runner throughout the movie. I know we were talking about Boilermakers, and Buttermaker is his name. You called him Boilermaker, but it is a runner.
They call him different name. They call him the wrong name.
They call him the wrong name throughout the movie, especially the opposing coach who coaches the Yankees. He calls him Butterworth. Played by Vic Morrow. He calls him Butterworth. He calls him a bunch of different names.
I like Butterworth a lot.
Butterworth is great.
I mean, Boilermaker's on the nose.
Big time. So now we get introduced to the kids, and I'll read them off here quickly. We have Amanda Wurlitzer, who is not on the team yet at the moment. She will be recruited later on. We have Tanner Boyle, Kelly Leak, who is also not on the team at the moment. Ahmad Abdul Rahim.
Kelly Leak's identity has yet to be revealed.
There's a big reveal there. So the players on the team right now: Tanner Boyle, Ahmad Abdul Rahim, Mike Engelberg, Alfred Ogilvie, Toby Whitewood, whose father is in city council, Timmy Lupus, Jose and Miguel Aguilar, Rudy Stein, Jimmy Feldman, and Joey Turner. So we meet all the kids, and we have our first practice here in the first scene. And it's not just bad. It is catastrophically bad.
Yeah, it's less of a baseball team and more he's just kind of doing like he's basically babysitting these for lack of a better word, idiot children.
Yeah, they're either so out of shape, extremely sickly, the most uncoordinated. I mean, it's just like you run the whole spectrum of types of kids here that just none of them can play baseball. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit to when we'll have our discussion on baseball realism. We talked a little bit how in the Sandlot episode about how having kids in your baseball movie is a little bit of a cheat code because like you don't expect them to be like very polished ball players. I mean, this is like the ultimate cheat code. They're supposed to be bad.
Right. Yeah, so you're watching kids be bad on purpose. Yeah, it's a lot of like vaudevillian stuff is about to happen on the ball field.
Like I had to really sit down and think about my baseball realism score because if you look at it from the perspective of they're supposed to be bad, they're perfect at it. They're terrible.
Right. It's pretty bad, but they're supposed to be bad. So we don't know if they're going to. This was a very difficult one for me to rank.
It's tough. So we have a little scene here after the first practice and this is where things really start to go south here. We have, I believe, Tanner making a comment on how they're never going to be good because of the different types of people that are on this baseball team. And he is not diplomatic about it. In fact, he is, like Chris said before, there's not even is that cool? Because it is.
It's not cool.
It's not cool at all. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't in 1976, and it definitely is not today.
And it's a runner that will come up again. Like they will use this joke more than once. But he has a way of describing different kinds of people that are on the team in what I can only describe as a slew of bigotry.
Yeah, I mean it is a who's who of all of the big slurs, and as
the team expands, he'll add slurs.
It is
Tanner's the loudmouth, feisty little shortstop.
He is fighting everybody all the time, and one may ask the question: would he get into less fights if he was not just firing off slurs left and right? I would say yes, he probably would get into fewer fights.
I don't think it could hurt. I mean, it before he rips off, like we said, this slew of slurs. He fights Walter Matthau. He's throwing hands with the coach.
He's fighting everybody. So we go to a banquet at a pizza place. It's kind of the pre-season banquet. Everyone's getting to know each other, getting ready.
It's not just any pizza place. It's a Pizza Hut, baby.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it is a Pizza Hut. Oh yeah, yep. It's got the old pointed brick walls. This isn't necessarily a I guess film trivia, but do you remember like the Pizza Hut buffet, the please wait to be seated sign in the script?
Of course.
Do you know the name of the guy that made that? He's a pretty active Pirates Twitter guy.
Who made what? The sign?
Who designed the buffet and the sign? He's an architect.
Really?
His name is David Geisel. Great follow. Do you know what else he designed?
All right. So I did know about this.
Yeah.
He also designed PNC Park.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
What a career run, man. And he's a super cool dude. Like I was going to say, if you reach out to him on Twitter, he's super engaging. He's very, very smart. He's very funny. But yeah, super cool guy.
And now all of those old Pizza Huts are like credit unions. Crazy.
My old Pizza Hut with the roof is still a Pizza Hut. The one close to me. But the other one, the one that's down river from me, I believe is the office of our congressional representative.
Very nice. The ones back in the old hometown, I think we have a credit union and an outpatient dialysis center, which is I mean, that's grim. I'll tell you that much. That is grim. Imagine walking in knowing it was an old Pizza Hut and being like, back again.
This might have did it. This might have did it. It might have been this one.
Yeah, that's tough.
Wow.
But alas, we learn of an issue at this Pizza Hut which is Buttermaker was responsible for getting the uniforms, which he never did. He never got a sponsor.
It
Which
feels like
will
a lot
result
of
in
a lot of work for him, if we're being honest.
yeah. And he goes to Toby's dad and he says, I'm getting paid to coach this team, not to do all the uniforms and all this extra.
I do love the joke that whenever Miss Cleveland, who's is kind of like running this league,
The supervisor and equipment manager.
Yeah, she's got her hand on a lot of pies here. You see her a lot. He's like, "Oh, you better hurry because all the best colors are being taken: red, white, and red, or it's red and white, blue and white, green and white, maroon and white, white and maroon,
White and maroon.
It's such a good joke. It's like
white, maroon and white and maroon crushed me. Loved that.
That is a tremendous joke.
Also, those are my high school colors for the baseball team. We were maroon and gold, but we had a little. The baseball unis were.
My little league team was maroon jerseys and white pants, and gray road pants. It's
a good look. They go with a couple Pittsburgh colors. They end up getting black and gold with white, and there's some good unis, I think. Next we have, because he's still working, he's still got to make that bread.
That's Skrilla.
So next we have Buttermaker taking the kids out to go clean a couple pools with him. They're all piled into his car. Nary a seatbelt in sight. Kids just piled up all over the whole
team.
The whole squadron. There's an open container in his car. This is one of my favorite quotes of the whole movie right here. I think it's Engelberg says to him, "This is an open container. That's against the law." And he says, "So is murder, Engelberg. Put that away before you get me into real trouble." So he's a grouch. He's grouchy.
And he's a fast talking grouch. So he's going to give it right back to you. I don't care how sassy you are as a child.
Oh, he's slinging insults. He does talk here about how he struck out Ted Williams on multiple occasions in spring training games. So you're kind of getting a little bit of his backstory. I think previously Ogilvy ran off his minor league stats, which were pretty good. I think he had like a sub 2.5 ERA.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very respectable minor league, which is kind of makes you wonder like what actually happened that made him not play for the Yankees. If you're putting up, was he called like 2.48 or something like that? As an
2.48, I think, yeah.
Which I also respect from a baseball aspect of the film. Like that's a pretty good ERA. Like they didn't just be like, oh, I got an ERA of 0.04. But no, like they picked like an attainable one. It lends some credibility to the film. Somebody knew ball.
I agree. We have him, the kids cleaning the pools. He's well, first they go to the batting cages. The kids are terrible at the batting cages. Then they go to clean the pools. He's just laying on a chair. Lupus made him a martini.
Lupus is shaking because it opens on a martini being shaken, but then as the camera backs out, it's just Lupus.
Which Lupus is, I mean, probably on the nose named this way. I mean, he is a very tiny, very sickly child.
Yeah, and he always calls him Lupus.
Lupus. That's another runner, as no one says his name correctly the whole movie. So they go to practice after the batting cages and the pool cleaning, and Buttermaker is just absolutely trashed. He falls over on the mound, passes out, and
one of the kids that I think he's dead, which I think might have been Tanner.
He said, I think Tanner says, no, he's not dead. He's just drunk.
Oh, that's right. Tanner hits with that one.
And then he said, all we got is a cruddy alky for a manager. Tanner he's slinging some insults around as well.
Tanner gets his money's worth out of crud.
Crud is
your cruddy calls people a crud, describes things as cruddy. I love it. Might enter the lexicon.
Crud is great. Now we go to opening day. Nothing inspiring confidence about the team so far. Not one single thing inspiring a shred of confidence in the team thus far. Opening day goes about as well as you'd think it would. But before we get even into the games, we have That same kid from the opening scene tearing up the field on his motorcycle.
The mysterious motorcycle child.
Which, remember, he's supposed to be in 7th grade, which is interesting. We take the team picture. Buttermaker shows up late for the team pic. He has a can of beer in it. The kids are all flipping the bird.
The flipping the bird in the team pick is 100%er, man. That's an all-time classic.
And they kind of have it hanging over the sign as well.
Yeah, it's just
they're doing
all good.
They're doing one of these guys. It's awesome. It's so good.
It's 100%er.
It crushes. And then we have the team lined up on the baseline as they're playing the national anthem to start the first game. And we see their sponsor kind of in frame for the first time. Chico's bail bonds.
And we've got other sponsors. We've got Denny's and Pizza Hut and what was another? Builders Emporium, which was huge. I don't think that exists anymore. But that was, the Home Depot before Home Depot. And they have Chico's bail bonds.
Classic. That is, to me, I think, one of the most like modern day, like lasting jokes from the movie. Like around PNC, if you go to a couple games, you see a couple Chico's bail bonds jerseys or shirts.
And they're always funny. You're always excited to see it.
Love it. So we're setting up the major conflict of the movie. First game here, they're playing the Yankees. And the Yankees are the favorite team in the league. They don't even think that the Bears should be in the league. They're pissed at Toby's dad for suing, how are we suing to get another team in the league? Doesn't even matter. In my legal opinion, this seems incorrect.
I was going to say, were people more litigious in the 70s? I just don't know.
To get one additional baseball team, the Yankees are out to make an example of the Bears at this point. They're pissed. They think they're making a mockery of the league by having all these fools out there playing. And the first game really shows it. They cannot buy an out. In fact, the game is so bad that the Bears don't even get to bat.
Right. It's after they've hung their 10th run of the first inning, which I think ultimately ends up being like 24
or 26 or something like that.
After the 10th run, Joey, the coach's son, lays down a bunt. That you gotta fight the other coach.
Have to.
If he's doing stuff like that, you got to throw hands. Like we got to clear the benches. Bullpens are coming in too. Like we're throwing hands.
It's brutal. Yeah. Top of the first. And the game's not even over. Like the inning's not even over. It doesn't even seem like they've recorded an out in this game. And it's 24 or 26 to nothing. And we have a great montage here of just like 6 balls in a row being hit to the shortstop, who I believe is Tanner. And he just misses every one, or they're hitting him in the shins, or they're getting by him. And it is as brutal as it could possibly be.
He's throwing his glove. He's throwing his glove at the runners as they're rounding second.
It's bad.
He's a little spitfire, old Tanner.
The opposing coach calls him Butterworth here for the first time. We start that runner. And Buttermaker eventually chooses to forfeit the game because he realizes that this game may very well never end. 24 or 26 runs, and they have not recorded a single out yet. Yeah,
he said they were 15 minutes away from calling the game for time. So that's how long this nightmare of an inning lasted.
Yeah. So they forfeit. The team is displeased, even though they were getting absolutely dusted, just straight body bag season. The team is displeased that Buttermaker forfeited the game. The kids are not happy. Ahmad, who seems to care most about baseball, he doesn't walk back with the team. He jumps the fence and climbs up a tree, takes off his uniform. He's sickened by the forfeit, and he's upset that his brothers, he said, are great athletes. He's not following in their footsteps. He idolizes Hank Aaron. He's not going to be able to be the little league Hank Aaron, and he's just distraught. He climbs up a tree, and Buttermaker follows him up there. And this is the first time we see him try to even be like somewhat of a coach at all.
Yeah, there's a human side to it which we haven't seen yet because it's just been him like calling the catcher fat and drinking 12 to 14 beers before every practice.
And he says that in Hank Aaron's first season in Little League, let's see.
42.
I don't think he says, I don't think he says, I think he says he might have been 9 years old or something like that. 42 errors in his first year of ball. Hank Aaron made 42 errors and he didn't give up. And Ahmad says, I don't want to hear any of that honky bullshit, which is just unbelievable.
And it's so good. It's so fast that he fires that out.
And then Buttermaker says, let's not bring race into this. We got enough problems as it is. Just unreal.
I love when Butterworth or Buttermaker, God damn, it makes it so hard to say his name because the joke is that nobody says the name right
in the movie.
It's when Walter Matthau says, if it wasn't for the 42, we never would have the great 44. And I loved that line because Hank Aaron is arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. It's really hard to make an argument against that. But just to put that into context. And then you find out that Ahmad, like his brothers are stellar athletes. So he's putting a lot of pressure on himself to succeed like they do. But I mean, like if you're trying to be, Hank Aaron, like you better be pretty damn good. And so he's putting a lot of pressure on himself.
He does show a little bit of coaching prowess here as well, saying, hey, you're the fastest guy on the team. We got a couple of plays drawn up for you. We'll eventually lay some bunts down, do a couple things, but like we got to get this team in order. So now you see Buttermaker trying to take this a little bit more seriously here. And the next scene will show that he wants to compete. So thus far, Rudy Stein has been pitching and getting absolutely shellacked. I mean, just bombed. He's not good.
Yeah, Rudy's not the piece of the puzzle that the Bears really need.
So he goes to see his ex-girlfriend's daughter, who was apparently a great ball player, had quite an arm, was a pitcher's pitcher, had multiple pitches, threw a heater, was painting corners, the whole nine. And she has taken up time selling maps on the side of the
maps to stars' homes. Do you think they still do that? Probably, right?
They're online. I was in, I was recently in Palm Springs. Is that in California? Elvis used to live there. I think that's it. They had a little map of all the stars' homes. They weren't selling it. It was just like on a placard or whatever. And there was one online.
Oh, they ruined it. They ruined it then. That's a whole economy.
Jobs from hardworking Americans.
Ugh.
Plaques. Get the plaques. Get the plaques, dude. He goes to recruit his ex-girlfriend's daughter. Asked her to join. She's not interested. She wants to start modeling. She wants to do ballet. She's going to be a woman, and they don't play baseball. So he hits her with a little Jedi mind tricks, reverse psychology, and says, you probably would have sucked anyway. So it's no loss to me. You probably don't got it anymore.
Yeah, she's 11 at this point, and he was like, girls physically peak at 9 years old,
which is,
But he's very good at getting under people's skin. It's what you're gonna see it many times from Walter Matthau.
We have a subsequent scene in between this. They actually do get body bagged one more time. The result of that first scene is her telling him to go vacuum the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, which is awesome.
Yep.
Creative.
Anything to do with this old creep.
So she denies him the first time. We do have one additional scene in between. The team votes to quit. They got absolutely throttled so bad the first game, they don't want to try anymore. We find out that Toby's dad actually voted to disband the team himself. He chose to do so. And Buttermaker says, no. I'm actually going to do my job and try to coach this team now. So we have a little bit of feel good. He's going to give it his all now. He's actually trying to coach where he's teaching them how to hit. He's teaching them how to field grounders, which that scene I have a little bit of a problem with. I don't know what the most up-to-date tech was at the time.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know what the most up-to-date strategy for fielding was at the time. But he tells the shortstop, when you're fielding a grounder, you obviously want to get down on one knee every time and block the ball.
I can't think of a worse piece of advice to give a shortstop.
I mean,
keep the ball in front of you is one thing, but drop to your knee, every ball it's hit. Like if you can knock the ball down, you can pick it up and make the play. You're anchored to the ground.
This isn't like in this situation drop to one knee. This was like every time you want to do this.
Correct. And it's not the best advice.
That's that 1976 ball. That's that 1976 minor league ball that we're talking about.
That's why he never made it to the show. After every pitch, he would just drop to his knee and get ready.
He was taking a knee
every time.
They said, "Get that son of a bitch off the field." We have a game against the Athletics now, another team in the league here. At least the Bears get to bat this time. They did get whooped. They made, and this goes to show how good that fielding advice was. They made 24 errors this game.
Yeah, they cut
Not
it in
half. Now he goes back to Amanda, and he hits her with the old reverse psychology to get her back into the league. She does call him Boilermaker here as well in this scene. So he is called Boilermaker and Butterworth multiple times. She says her curve is breaking 2.5 feet, which means that she is the greatest breaking ball pitcher who has ever lived. Or she's not throwing a curveball that's breaking 2.5 feet.
Right.
I vote the latter.
Could be a really, really tall mound. I don't know. It could be a 2.5-foot mound. He
hits her with the reverse psychology. He bribes her with clothes, ballet lessons, things of that nature.
She wants jeans.
Likens jeans. Her to, yeah, European. So what's wrong with jeans made in America? That's what I ask. We got a catfish hunter mention here.
Amazing. Love
catfish
it.
Hunter. And now we cut to her pitching, and she's balling. She is the best player on the team. Not even close.
Not even close. It was the pitcher they were looking for. It also shows her loading her cap, her cap. She's Vaseline in her cap.
She's throwing spitballs. Yeah, they're cheating out here too, which is awesome.
Yes, yeah, she's cheating, and it's very funny. So it's clearly his influence is rubbed off onto her.
They lose this game. So they're 0-3 at this point, but it's way better this time. It's way better. She's getting Ks. They're fouling balls off a little bit, at least. It's getting better. Part of this is we have a ball that goes to the outfield fence, foul, I believe, and the unnamed motorcycle child picks the ball up from basically outside of the outfield fence and throws it to an infielder. Everyone's like, wowzers. This kid has got an absolute cannon.
And then he gets hassled by his Cleveland. He flicks the lit cigarette in her face.
Yeah,
so you know
this guy's
a
certified badass.
He's a badass and probably a bad guy.
Bad guy. This kid will grow up to do bad things. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You're going to jail one day. Promise you that.
I've never seen a kid that was going to jail more than him. There's no doubt. He should have been in jail at 11.
You would think so. He's doing some crimes.
He commits multiple crimes. Now, they plan to get, we find out his name is Kelly Leak. He's kind of a mythical figure amongst the 7th graders because of how badass he is. And we find out that they're going to try to get him on the team. but not before they throw a couple more slurs around about the players that are on the team.
You thought you were done, brother? We got slurs in the tank.
It really was a choice, because they're also making kids say it, and they're like, you know, like a directorial and screenwriting choice. They're like, you know, what would really be
typewriter banging out the script.
Be of the times if we had these kids just use a bunch of slurs.
And it's like, it's all of the ones that you shouldn't say ever. There's not like, they're the worst ones. Not that I want to come out in defense of any of them, but we did say honky bullshit earlier because it's very funny.
Yeah.
These are not the funny ones.
No. And it's not like the drunken old man who's like saying them in a stupor.
No, it's children.
Like that would be like not okay, but you would understand where if they took that angle directorially, why the drunken old man would be saying those things. But it's all the kids just letting them rip.
It's just kids. It's just kids firing slurs, my guy.
My mother was clutching her pearls, dude.
And it's jarring when it happens, because it's just like, oh, this is like a baseball movie with a lot of heart. And then slurs. She
made me pause the movie. She's like, you need to look up what year this was made, because she was like, I'm taken aback by this.
This is
1976.
Like, everybody
goes, that wasn't okay in 1976.
No. And this is, you know, after we've all been laughing at the 11-year-old riding a Harley Davidson smoking cigarettes. We're like, that's a funny thing to see. And then pow, N-word. and among others.
If there was a kid to say it, probably that kid. So we find out that to get him on the team, Amanda has a friendly wager with Kelly over a game of air hockey at the local arcade, where he just got done. He's like hustling adults at air hockey, which is hilarious.
Yeah, $1 a game.
So they play. She's pretty good. The bet is that if she wins, then he has to play for the team. And if he wins, then she has to go with him to a Rolling Stones concert. 11-year-olds. She loses. He rides off on his motorcycle. She gets back in the car, tells Buttermaker the bad news. And he says, I thought you were good. Like she's some sort of air hockey prodigy. And she says, I'm good. He was better. Now I got to go on this. He rolls up to the side of the car and says, see you on Friday, 8:00. This scene is just ridiculous. He says, you shouldn't be going on a date at 11 years old. You shouldn't be going to Motley Crue at 11 years old. And this part is in like the little trailer that plays when you hover over the movie on like HBO or Amazon. She goes, I know 11-year-olds on the pill. And his response to that is crazy. He says, don't say that word ever again. What? The pill?
That's where he draws the line.
That's the one?
That's it. Everybody has their limit, and his is the pill.
We had 2 instances of kids just tossing slurs around. And she just says, I know 11-year-olds on the pill. And he was like, you can never say that again.
Yeah, don't you dare. Ew. No stepdaughter potentially of mine is ever going to say the pill. Now you get out there with our shortstop and practice your slurs.
And it's not and it's not even like he's like, don't talk about sex. Don't talk about contraceptives. He says, don't say that word ever again.
As he is, again, drinking a beer in a car that he's operating that has a child in it.
Yeah. Unbelievable scene. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I think
it's just ridiculous.
Speaks to, like the that era, like the things that people are gonna pick to be puritanical about. You know, all the swearing and smoking is fine, but sex, like, absolutely not. Not those damned Rolling Stones.
After this, so we think that there's no hope in getting Kelly on the team. We cut back to the field. We have Tanner slinging some more insults around. He tells Lupus, could you go somewhere else while I'm eating? You're making me sick. Which is hilarious.
And he's just kind of eating a hot dog. It doesn't even look weird.
Not at all.
He's not like eating it in a bizarre way. He's just eating a hot dog. But you can, like, Tanner, like, Lupus is an easy target. Tanner likes to push buttons.
So he is an instigator through and through, big time. Kelly, though, is here watching the game, watching the practice or a game. I can't recall. And the Yankees coach is just sickened by even the sight of Kelly. He is smoking a cigarette on the bleachers, but there's a little confrontation between the two of them. And this confrontation is enough to turn the tide and have Kelly join the team. So now we got Kelly and we have Amanda. We got a pitcher and then we got a superstar outfielder. And we're ready to put the team together and make a little bit of a splash here. We have the next game. Actually, they win the next two games. I think there's a little bit of a continuity error because they have a scene in the movie where they say, we play the White Sox next. And they play a game in between and they win. And it's not the White Sox, unless I didn't catch something. There might be a little bit of a
there's only a handful of teams. The continuity, they play it as a montage. It's hard to kind of tell what's what. The only way that you get any kind of, like, any semblance of continuity is you'll see they're moving their name up in the standings as they win, or drop them as they lose, because they also lose during this montage.
So we have a little baseball montage. There's an outfield assist in there at first base, which is pretty sick, honestly, to put in a little league baseball montage. Like, you don't need to do that.
You got to get that ball in. It was fantastic.
Making routine plays, but they show a sick outfield assist at first base. Pretty cool. Somebody, again, just a classic runner from another movie that we saw. Somebody gets hit right in the groin. He's over on the ground, rolling around. The Yankees coach runs out, calls for a stretcher.
A stretcher.
Which is awesome.
Well, we did skip a part. I forgot to mention this one earlier. The mandatory equipment is they all have to wear a jockstrap. They have to wear a cup. And somebody says, I think cups are a sin if you're Catholic. It was Miguel. He said Ogilvy translates from Spanish. Cups are a sin if you're Catholic.
He's been brushing up on his Spanish.
And nobody will wear a cup because Amanda doesn't have to wear a cup. So they said they're not going to wear a cup. And then ultimately it's Ahmad that pays the price whenever he takes a line drive to the Jewels.
He does. There's a little bit of a funny, all the kids are throwing the cups back at Buttermaker. They're all just hitting them. It's pretty funny. Ogilvy, just a quick aside here. Ogilvy is like the quintessential. And if you've played ball, you know, at like a little league and even like a high school level, anything around there, the quintessential like kid that keeps the book. That's Ogilvy. Mm-hmm. He's just the kid in the dugout. He's keeping the book. It's like, are you good enough to be out there? No. Like, let's just be real with ourselves. But you can keep track of the stats. You can keep the book. Like, classic keeping the book kid.
Like, is a skilled statistician.
He's able to
rattle off. Yeah, he's able to rattle off stats.
At the end of the movie, he's rattling them off in crunch time, even.
Right. Yeah, it's he's communicating with Amanda about different like hot cold spots for different batters. Like this kid, like Ogilvy, stud.
He actually is.
This is our Peter Brand.
This is a young Peter Brand. I was just gonna say he's got it going on. So now we have the team together. We have a little bit of a montage of the team coming together, playing well, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a little bit of an outside of the field scene. Amanda's in ballet class. All the kids come in there and are acting a fool.
Crashing ballet class. Great scene.
Kelly's hitting on the grown women as an 11-year-old.
Asking if they like Harley Davidsons.
Now we have the Bears playing the Athletics. And if they win, they get to go to the championship game. And things have been going too well. We have to introduce a little bit more conflict now.
Right.
They've been a little too hunky-dory the last couple games. All those montages of them going up in the standings, no conflict. We can't end the movie with no conflict. So Buttermaker tells Kelly, he says, listen, everyone else out there, I'm paraphrasing, sucks. You got to get your glove on as many balls as you can. If it's in the outfield, you're catching it. If it's a pop up to the infield,
you're catching it too.
Which he just has godlike range. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's catching every ball. And there's friction here with the other players. They're like, why? He's running in front of them. He's catching it over their gloves. There's friction here with the other players who, at this point, have felt like they've kind of become a team. Now that's getting kind of stripped back a little bit. But in the end, Kelly hits a walk-off, so it doesn't really matter anyway because he's the top dog on the team, and they're in the championship now. But there is a little confrontation about that later on.
Yeah, nobody really wants to celebrate with Kelly after the win.
Now we have the worst that Buttermaker was, the worst he was in the whole movie, the worst he will be in the whole movie. Him just being a bad guy. Amanda says basically she wants to have a relationship with Buttermaker like they had in the past when Buttermaker was dating her mother. She sets up a little kind of date where they're going to go out for dinner after the game.
Yeah,
and
like a family. As a family.
And he says, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to take the team out for hot dogs or pizza, but I'm not going out with you and your mother. And they go back and forth, and she pleads a little bit. Things have been going so well with the team and yada, yada. And this scene reaches its peak here, and he just throws beer in her face. He has a beer can, and he just splashes it right on her face. This is a grown man.
Yeah.
And an 11-year-old.
Yeah. And then he says, if I wanted to have a relationship with you, I would have looked you up 2 years ago.
Brutal.
Like just out of nowhere. But that's like, he's getting a little too comfortable. Things are changing. She's trying to like build a relationship with him. And all of a sudden he just snaps. And then, like you said, fires a beer, which I believe was a Coors Banquet. He switches up beers a lot. You never see him drink the same beer twice. But, and something we will talk about a little later, you always see what kind of beer he's drinking.
Oh, yeah. You got a couple OG Rolling Rocks in there with the wide mouths.
Those are Mickey's hand grenades.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Bad guy.
The firing, the beer out of it because he's clearly overusing his pitcher. So he has her arm in ice water that has his beers in it. And then firing beer at the kid. Gotta ask you. Is that cool?
Not cool. Also,
not at all.
Probably a crime.
I don't know if that's a crime. It could potentially be a crime. It feels like it should be a crime.
But I will say they try to salvage this scene here for Buttermaker because as they split ways and they walk away,
yeah, she's
wiped all the beer off of her face, and there's a couple of tears coming down, as a child would. If I was 11 and somebody who I want to be my dad threw a beer in my face and said, "Get lost, loser," I'd be sobbing.
Brother, I might do that now.
Yeah. Chris, if I threw a beer in your face and you didn't cry, I would be hurt. You know? That's all that I'm saying. But it cuts back to Buttermaker. And he also has, you rarely see him cry in the movie. Maybe just a tear.
You rarely see him show any kind of emotion in the movie.
But he has tears in his eyes at this point.
Yeah, I think he realized that he crossed the line into just scumbag shit.
Like, one of the biggest lines we've seen crossed, in the biggest line we've seen crossed in any of the movies thus far. Crazy work.
And this, I mean, him having that moment with her after we heard the torrent of racism is really saying something. For like this scene is jarring, and it literally comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Like, things have been going well.
Yeah.
Brutal. So now we're just supposed to put this all behind us and like figure out how they're going to beat the Yankees in the championship game. But there's all this conflict. He just told Amanda to go kick rocks and he doesn't care.
Yeah, he
all the
managed
players
to alienate Kelly Leak.
All the kids are pissed at Kelly. And there's like a mutiny almost in the dugout before the next game. The kids are saying, we don't want to play. Like, Kelly is being an asshole. We got here as a team. And he does step up and say, listen, we've come this far. We won last game. We're in the championship. Don't be mad at Kelly. That was my call. You know, I told him to follow orders. I told him to catch everything. That's on me. You know, I wasn't looking at this from a team perspective. That's on me. And, you know, eventually they start playing. Even though Kelly's still pissed, even though Amanda is still pissed and also hurts. They do a point to show that her arm is not doing well. We have in the beginning of the game, a Yankees player basically spike Amanda, just kick her right in the chest.
Yeah, she's backing up a throw to home and ends up with the ball. It passes Engelberg. He flips it home. She covers the bag, and the kid cleats her in the chest.
A brawl swiftly ensues. Swiftly.
Oh yeah, it just got real. They do fight the Yankees players a number of times through the movie. But look what Tanner's first one out of the dugout. He's ready.
Dog.
He's about that life. He's about that life.
That's a guy you want on your team.
That's a glue guy. You need a scrappy guy. And they are
100%.
throwing hands. It's a fight. It's not a shoving match. It's a fight.
It's a brawl.
Right. They're trying to fight the coach. They're trying to fight everybody. But, you know, it's the whole time back and forth. Vic Morrow and Walter Matthau are exchanging insults. And Morrow's are a little more pointed. It's more about, you know, like talking about like how bad the team is. Like, it's nothing Matthau doesn't know. But it's becoming more evident that they're both using this game as a vessel. You know, they're living vicariously through these children, but it's a vessel for their own success. Like they care about them winning more than they care about the team winning.
That's why Buttermaker made the call for Kelly to catch everything. That's why the switch has flipped. He cares more about winning, like you just said. But
the difference is that Walter Matthau, Buttermaker, is the only one that realizes it. And it's after that fight and realizes that they're projecting that, you know, he does realize that this is a game and children are playing it. So it's his whole dynamic kind of shifts at this point.
He calls out the other coach for playing dirty, and now he's going into strategy mode and trying to figure out how they can win this game, but kind of do it the kind of right way. There's a little bit of gamesmanship going on, though.
Yeah, he's telling Stein to lean into the ball. We got to get him on base.
We have Kelly get intentionally walked. We have Stein leaning in, getting hit. Engelberg hits a ground rule double. There's a tag up after a sack fly. Just a little bit of a small ball montage here, which is pretty cool to see in a little league movie here. And the Bears end up pulling out of the first with a lead after the first inning. Now we have a little bit of a problem here. Conflict within the Yankees team, not the Bears. There's a little bit of a conflict between the coach and his son, who is the pitcher. And
clearly the star player there. You know, he hits really well. He steals bases. He's fast. He's the pitcher. He's the coach's son. You've seen this before.
You probably played in a little league where this was the case before.
Yeah.
But there's a difference of opinion on strategy here about how to pitch to is it Kelly? I can't remember. Engelberg. That's right. Engelberg. Because Engelberg
he
hit
got
the ground rule double.
Ground rule double to give him the lead.
And he says, pitch him low and outside. You know, we don't want to let him get a hold of anything. He hit a pretty kind of deep ball to the outfield before. And he does not do that. He does not pitch him low and outside.
He does not. He
gives him something to hit. And the Yankees coach he tries to hit him.
Yeah, he throws at his head. He doesn't give him anything hittable. He throws at his head.
He throws the first one inside, I believe, and then the next one is above him.
He buzzes him.
And the father comes out, says, "You tried to hit him." He says, "No, I didn't. It got away from me." Clearly a lie. And then the dad hits him.
Hits him. Assaults him. Like hits him. Not just like a slap on the bill of the cap or anything. But you see Mathau do a couple times. You know, somebody does something vaudevillian and hilarious. They'll like whack him on their cap. No, he just slaps the shit out of a kid.
Yeah. So
you're like puts him on the ground, like hits him.
Yeah. If you're keeping track at home, this is the second instance of child abuse. This one, just a direct hit to the face on this one. No beer splashing.
This is familial. This is domestic.
This is public assault of a child. Also, well, I have in my notes here.
No one does anything.
No one does anything.
No one does anything.
Notes, not cool.
Not cool. Again, the things that this movie draws a lot of like very, very solid lines in the sand of things, and like they're none of them are cool.
No.
The things that are not cool, they're not cool.
She's displeased, but like doesn't do anything. No one does anything. He just gets up.
Nobody reacts at all.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like a hush from the crowd, and that's the reaction. Like I've seen videos of like somebody like grabbing a kid by the shirt or something to practice, and an army of parents just simply clobbers them.
Yeah, this is a crazy one. But the son's gonna get back at him.
He's gonna go rogue here.
Engelberg hits the ball back at the pitcher. He holds the ball in his glove, shields it from everybody else, and just lets Engelberg hit an in-the-park home run. He's getting swarmed by his team.
Yeah, they're trying to. He at one point grabs the ball and holds it to his chest, like in his glove, so that nobody can get it. He's getting back at his old man, who just committed one of the most heinous crimes in front of a crowd of people and other children, ostensibly his classmates.
Public crime. Just a crazy scene. Then he slowly walks over. One of the most dramatic scenes in the movie. Slowly walks over with the ball, drops it at his dad's feet, walks off the field with the mom, and they leave. Which dad's not going to have a good time going after the game.
No. And at some point, you got to feel like, because the one team had to forfeit because they didn't have enough players. Do they carry enough players on this team that they can throw another one in? Maybe the Yankees.
Must.
But if they have enough extra, if every team's got a bunch of extra players, why do we have to add the Bears in here?
It is interesting. And yeah, because the Bears have 4 extra players, which we're about to find out.
And the kids who have not been playing all year on account of them being terrible.
Yeah, we have Lupus, we have Ogilvy, we have
Miguel,
Miguel, and there's
and then
one.
the one is the little brother. It's like Tommy or something. It's not Toby. It's one of the other ones. But
I
yeah,
can't.
it's the
Yeah.
little brother.
So we get back in. This is again like a further kind of crystallization of Buttermaker's thought of like, whoa, we've strayed way too far from the path here. Like, this game is not about me anymore. It's not about winning. This kid's getting hit publicly by his father.
Yeah.
Like, he cares way too much about this. Like, this is about kids having fun. Buttermaker, it just took two child assaults for Buttermaker to put that together. And now he's like, okay, now I get it. So he does a little bit of a platoon sub. He puts the 4 kids in that never get to play. I mean, it's true. This guy's a grown-ass man, and it takes 2 incidents of children being assaulted on back-to-back days, one of which he did.
Yeah, I would say one was his.
To be like, oh, maybe these 7th graders are just trying to have fun playing baseball.
He watched dad open palm slap his son. He was like, wow, this guy's a monster.
Truly.
As the wall behind him is still wet in the dugout from firing beer at his estranged stepdaughter.
As he's driving around drunk with 10 kids in his car.
And he like
no seatbelts, windows down, roof open.
Oh yeah, they're like piled up on top of the back seat. There's 14 children in his Cadillac DeVille.
This guy is a walking crime, and he's like,
he has a beer right now.
Like, and he's like, that Yankees coach shouldn't have done that.
He's drinking a beer. He's like, wow, that sucks.
I mean, it is.
What a piece of work that guy is.
Every adult in this movie.
I better not do anything about it.
Every adult in this movie is the worst guy. And we're about to find out that Toby's dad is also a piece of shit.
Also a bad guy.
Toby's dad peeks around the corner of the dugout and says, Buttermaker, what are you doing bringing all these scrubs in? Like, we're about to win. We got this far. And he's like, listen, you're paying me to coach this team. I'm coaching this team. On my team, everyone gets to play. And he's like, we had all those games to have all those kids play. Like, play the good players. Let's win the game. And he hits him with a fire insult here. Love this one. He says, get back to the stands before I shave off half your mustache and shove it up your left nostril. Heater. Love that one. Toby's dad also a bad guy. All the adults in this movie.
All the adults in this movie are bad.
Bad.
Miss Cleveland? Bad.
Bad.
Whatever Vic Morrow's character's name is, I honestly have absolutely no recollection of it. But just like he's just out here hitting kids.
Bad.
Not good.
They have to put in Rudy's the other player who they sub in. They sub in they sub in Rudy to pitch. That's right. And because Amanda is hurt.
Right. Yeah, he's not. She says she can play, and Walter Matthau says it's just not worth it. You know, it's he's not going to have her injure herself.
Yeah, Rudy gets absolutely smoked. And they go into bottom. How many innings they play? 6? Bottom 6?
Yeah, play 6. But it's top. Yeah, it's top of the 6. But also, Lupus makes a warning track catch.
Lupus does catch a ball in the outfield.
Bananas, man. Like, is this going to be the spark?
That could have been the championship right there. They were stoked on Lupus. And we'll see Lupus again. They do get kind of smoked. They go into bottom 6, and they're down by 3 runs. Bottom 6. And starts off 2 up, 2 down. Doesn't go well for the Bears, the first 2 batters. They are down by 3, right? I believe so.
Yeah. Yep. 3 runs.
And then we get Ogilvy up, and Ogilvy says, with all due respect, I should not be hitting. And Lupus catches a stray here. He goes, I'm 0 for 14. And besides Lupus, I'm probably the worst player in the league. Which, okay, Lupus just made a warning track catch.
Right. That was a showstopper, man.
He kind of robs a home run.
Right.
And then immediately just catches a stray from Ogilvy?
Yeah.
That's
who's
Bush
this guy?
League. That's Bush League. Ogilvy walks, though. He gets on base. So Peter Brand
Gets on base.
gets on base. Ahmad bunts. Little foreshadowing earlier on. He bunts, gets on base. Now we got runners first and second.
He does call his shot, and then he rope-a-dopes him with a quick slap bunt.
Pretty sick. He hits him with the old Stan Ross, except he gets on base.
Well, Stan Ross wasn't known for his speed in his age 39 season or however the hell old he was.
Miguel, tiny boy. They cannot pitch to him. He's too small.
I love Miguel because he goes up and he's just like mean mugging, just spitting.
Walks. Now this is, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I got to look this up. So the bases are loaded at this point.
Correct. Bases are juiced, 2 outs.
No, they must be down 4. They're down 4, not 3.
It was tied. They give up 4 runs in the.
That's it. They're down 4 because they go to intentionally walk Kelly. And Buttermaker says, "What are you doing? You're putting the tying run on first base."
On first. So yeah, they were up 4.
They're down 4. And they go to intentionally walk him. They throw the first 2 pitches outside. And then Buttermaker looks up at Kelly and he tells him, go get it.
Yeah, he gives him the stretch.
And Kelly steps into one and he gets a piece of it. It's not quite a homer, but it's a little WTP, little warning track power, but he's blazing around the bases and they're fumbling. And this sets up our big moment here. Throws coming in. Kelly's rounding third. Play at the plate. Out at home.
Throws in time. Out at home.
Hate to see it.
This is after a couple questionable calls earlier in the game. Or even Buttermaker keeps saying like how unfair it is. Like we can't play you and the other team. But it's and he doesn't even argue the call. I think you got to get in there and mix it up.
He does seem to be out. But alas, they lose by a single run. The Yankees coach is just happy at this point, even though his wife just left with his battered child.
Yeah, he seems to really be basking in the moment of, essentially going home to an empty house and divorce papers. One would think.
Brutal. But he's happy. The trophy they bring out, this part's hilarious. The trophy they bring out is 5 layers. It's huge.
It's big.
It's 6 feet tall. And then they come out and they hand the Bears a trophy that's this big.
The second place, the runner up is real little.
Not before Buttermaker gives the whole team beers.
He gives him beers.
Crime.
He's cracking them. Yeah, that's
a crime.
Not cool.
That's a crime if I've ever seen one.
So everybody's in the dugout drinking beers.
Just crushing brewskis. They go out and they're not in it for all this runner-up, all this. The Yankees apologize. And Tanner, in classic Tanner fashion, tells them to shove their apology and the runner-up trophy and their trophy right up the old ass. Tells him to shove it.
And then throws the trophy at him.
Throws the trophy at him. And then Lupus from the top rope out of nowhere says, wait till next season. Lupus, of all people. Timmy Lumpus.
Timmy, he's riding high. After that, he made one big catch, and all of a sudden they drop, and he's out there.
He's John. And then we do have a bit of a nice moment where, Buttermaker and Amanda talk and now he has reconsidered and said, we are going to continue to kind of have a relationship in the off season as well.
Right.
We get our, moral victory here. Everyone learned a lesson. It just took, 100 crimes and 2 child assaults to learn the lesson. The kids are happy and they're drunk,
Yeah,
and that's all that
everybody's
matters.
cracked a couple cold brewskis.
Just a just a just a real lack of morals all over the place here. I mean, it's
It's not the
unbelievable.
good news bears, I'll tell you that right now.
A moral vacuum, this whole league. There's just not one shred of ethics to be had anywhere.
No.
Nowhere.
No.
You got coaches splashing beer, coaches hitting players who are also, in addition to their sons. You have coaches telling players to spike other children in the chest. You got drunk driving many times, public drunkenness.
In fact, we don't ever
Slurs
see him
about-
drive sober.
You never see him drive sober. Slurs about.
Ooh.
You have just corruption of minors, bribery, potentially, with Toby's dad. I mean, just bad guys all
A
over in
veritable
this one.
cavalcade of criminality.
I mean, it is just crimes left and right here. And that's it. The movie's over.
Yeah. It's another like fairly abrupt end to a baseball movie. Not as hilarious as Scout, but it's up there.
The kids are drunk. They say, "Shove your trophy up your ass," and then it's over.
I said, we'll see you next year. And spoiler alert, they do, because this movie does have a sequel.
I didn't know that. I'm like,
so there's that. It's breaking something. I can't remember what it is. And then they go to Japan in the third one. And it is
I'm sure that one is very politically
It's
correct.
one of the top 5 worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I really don't remember the second one. I'm pretty sure they win. So it's kind of like Rocky 2. And then they go to Japan. And let me tell you, if you thought the kids were racist in the first one, brother.
Yikes. Tell you what, well, let's get a word from our sponsors here, and then we'll get into the rest of it.
Yes, today's episode is brought to you by beers. You trying to come to terms with a failed baseball career? Are you tired of cleaning pools? Try beers. Do you hate coaching hopeless miscreants to fuel your addictions? Try beers. But wait, from the maker of beers, it comes beers for children. Just lost the big game? Just saw your classmate being assaulted by his dad? Are you 11? Crack open beers for children. Beers now for children.
All ages, man.
All ages. Just have a beer about it.
I'm sure that didn't result in any lasting problems and nothing that happened in this movie resulted in any long-term, lifelong trauma or problems.
Which one of the
any
kids
of
do you
kids.
think is most likely to have grown up like with the most addictions and or jail time? Is it Tanner or Engelberg?
Well, I mean, it's Kelly, but
he's already ripping cigs.
Yeah, Kelly's already like hardened. It's
he does get arrested, I think, twice in this movie.
Yeah.
It was on opening day when he's tearing ass on the bike. He's doing donuts and stuff in the infield.
He crashes it into the outfield.
Just drives directly into the outfield bench for like no reason, and then just gets arrested.
I was thinking, like, I watched a ton of movies when I was home for Thanksgiving. I watched 8 movies, and I was crushing.
Work, dude. Must be nice.
That is unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'm off again next Monday.
And I was like, maybe we should have a little section where we talk about like the overarching themes of the movies. That's how I came to my conclusion that all of our movies are about failed, spiteful men who don't know how to show any basic human emotion until something sport related happens to them. And I was like, yeah, maybe this whole themes thing would get a little boring. We could just clip the same one and put it in every episode.
Every single one. I think the difference between this movie and some of the others that we talked about is this movie has an awful lot of heart.
It does have some heart. The
You know-
kids are really trying against all odds, and by all odds, I mean they're very, very, very limited athletic ability.
Correct. But
These kids
yeah,
suck at sports. They're really bad.
they're not good, and they know they're not good. But like it's the way the team gels and the way that Mathau sticks up for them whenever they try to disband the team, and he says no. He's like they want to play, and then realizes that after he yells and throws a beer at Amanda, realizes that he crossed a line, like he's done too much, and then sees how Vic Morrow's the coach of the Yankees is acting, and it's like, whoa, like this is like we've crossed a line here, and it's like, okay, let's get everybody involved in this game. That's what it's about. It's about being on a team and sharing this moment. And this movie has, like I said, it has an awful lot of heart.
I agree, but like, at what point do we stop giving credit to someone for only realizing that once you're like a whole ass grown ass man?
Well, that's because this movie is at the end of the day a comedy, and he has to be smoking cigs and firing off snappy one-liners at children.
That's true. It's
He's
It's
out
an
here
interesting-
shaving half mustaches.
that part's hilarious, no doubt about it. He also tells Engelberg at one point, we can get to a couple quotes here. I think I already said most of them. He tells Engelberg, Engelberg says, open container, that's against the law. He says, so is murder, Engelberg. Put that away before you get me into real trouble. The scene after this, he also tells Engelberg not to jump in the pool because he'll flood the valley.
Flood the valley. Makes a lot
Brutal.
of fat jokes at the kid's expense. Engelberg, one of the runners, he's always eating. Yeah, so he's always having chocolate of some kind. And then if anybody asks, he just starts yelling at them. Well, my therapist told me.
Yeah. Not a lot. I mean, the dialogue in this movie is just kind of quick insults back and forth. There's nothing super like provocative or groundbreaking in here.
Are there any lines from like Tanner that you would like to say out loud for the internet?
I think that I will just let the folks watch the movie and see what they think about his vocabulary.
It's like I said, I've seen this movie a lot. This is way up there for me as far as a baseball movie goes. It's always jarring when they hit you. It's like exactly 10 minutes in, and they just whack you with slurs.
Chris, you're going to be disappointed in my score on this one. I'm not going to lie to you. You got any trivia before we get into our rankings here?
I have a couple. Like Jackie Earle Haley, this was, I think, his second movie. And then he kind of slipped away for a while, didn't do a lot of acting. And then he, like in the 2010s, he had a pretty big resurgence. He actually was in the Nightmare on Elm Street reboots. So he got to play Freddy Krueger. Made a pile of money as Rorschach in The Watchmen. And I think that was 09.
Something like
08,
that.
09. Ton of shameless product placement. Ton. They said he drinks a lot of beers. It's always labels out. It's Schlitz, Coors Light, Coors Banquet, Mickey's Wide Mouth. I think Budweiser's the first one. He drinks Jim Beam.
Yep.
But you always see this in his late 70s, kind of when product placement really took off. But they mentioned, the cars are Cadillacs and Dodges. We see a ton of those. Pizza Hut. The Yankees are sponsored by Denny's. They use Pizza Hut by name all the time. They reference Coca-Cola by name all the time. And anytime kids are drinking a cup, it's Coca-Cola. It's pointed towards the camera. That is funnier. The more you watch it, like the product placement is truly shameless.
The Bad News Bears brought to you by corporate America.
Yeah. Launched a bunch of series, 3 sequels, a television show, and a remake. Which, spoiler alert, the remake is our next film we'll be reviewing.
We inversed on this. I had seen the remake and not the original. You had seen the original, not the remake.
I have never seen the remake.
I think that the remake is like very faithful. Like it's like a lot of the dialogue is like pretty cut and paste. The scene layout is like very, very, very similar as well.
Well, if you watch this movie, you can tell that it might need a little
cleaning up. Yeah, there's a little I don't know. I'm not even going to call it politically correctization. I mean, it's just like, how about we don't throw slurs around all the time?
Yeah, how about we just don't casually drop like machine gun like slurs for
Yeah.
literally no reason whatsoever. This is also one of Vic Morrow's last big roles. He was very tragically killed on
Oh
the
my
set of
gosh.
Twilight Zone, the movie. It was a stunt gone wrong, and he was killed during the filming of the movie.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a helicopter stunt. He actually saved children, and was killed because the stunt went wrong. He actually sacrificed his own life to save children on the filming of this
Not,
movie, which is
not,
wild.
not in this movie.
Very out of character for him.
That's crazy.
It's the inverse. So it turns out Vic Morrow not hitting kids in real life.
No, saving them. Jackie Earl Haley also in Shutter Island.
Is he really?
I'm pretty sure he's like one of the is he there, is he not ghost prisoners
Okay.
in
I
in
only
Shutter
saw that
Island as
movie
well.
once, and I could tell, like, I remember saying, boy, if it ends this way, I'm going to be really mad. And it's the way that it ended, and I'm still really mad.
Nah, that movie's fire, dude. Great
Well, I
movie.
don't want to watch it anymore because I knew how it was going to end before I watched it. We
You know,
red boxed
listen,
it, man. We red boxed it.
brother, I know how every baseball movie is going to end before it ends.
You thought the Bad News Bears were going to win, and at no point did you know the words that were going to come out of that
I didn't know that one.
mouth.
You did warn me, and I was like, "Whoa!" Even though Chris warned me, that's a lot. Oh my god!
I believe my words were, brother. You're about to watch one of the most racist movies you've ever seen in your life.
Brutal. All right, let's get on to some rankings here. Listen, they did the cheat code. They sold out big time on the baseball realism score because not only do they have kids playing, the kids are supposed to be bad.
I will say this though, like if you watch Kelly Leak, like has like a really good pivot throw, like from the outfield. Like there is a ball player in there.
Yeah,
They're all swinging high in the zone, but it's also because the mound's super tall and it's 20 feet away.
The good hitting that's supposed to be good is a little questionable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that any of the hitting in this film is particularly good.
Yeah. I'm going to go just because they're supposed to be bad. And as far as realistic bad baseball, it's pretty good. I'm going to go 7.75 Boilermaker Butterworths.
I will give it again. I think it's what you're making is a pretty salient point here. It's supposed to be bad, and it's funny. You know, they're doing the vaudevillian thing where like he goes to throw a ball and it slips on, it ends up behind him, so he picks up and then he does it again. I'll give it a 7.25 out of a possible 10. Maps to Stars Homes.
Oh, I love that one. That one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to like this, Chris.
That you're definitely not gonna like mine.
Also, number one, the remake is better. We'll watch it next week. You'll see.
I will get to judge that. I will do it as fairly as possible.
Like, I'm gonna go.
If you give this less than a 7.5, you're wrong.
It's less than a 7.5.
It's well, then I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're incorrect.
I'm gonna give it.
I believe Kevin Smith says his favorite movie of all time.
Kevin Smith, his favorite movie ever.
Always references this movie. And Tarantino brings this up a lot, but he might not be. It might be a bad guy.
I just watched a list of Tarantino's top 5 movies of all time. He did an interview. Hate to break it to you, brother. This one's not on there. I'm giving this one a 60 out of 100 open containers. That's what I'll do. A 6.
You're giving it a 6. Wow. I mean, I get that it's dated. Even through the period piece, like the kids are funny. Walter Matthau is funny. The movie definitely chugs right along. The championship game is longer than I thought it would be. There's a lot of championship game in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought Tatum O'Neal was fantastic in this.
I agree. Tatum O'Neal kind of like
the Bad News Bears as a whole carry this movie. Like the adults just progress scenes, other than Mathau, but you know it's because he's an old drunk that's always ripping Swisher Sweets and making Boilermakers in his car. I am going to give this. I'm going to give it 79 out of 100 shameless product placements.
I get it, but I just like. We'll see how you feel about the remake. This movie is.
I'm honestly excited to watch the remake because if there's one person that I could trust to fill Mathau's shoes in this, it's Billy Bob Thornton.
Dude, Billy Bob, he's nice. He's
And again,
an
like
underrated actor.
That movie could use a little freshening up.
Yeah,
it does read very dated.
I'm excited for your take on this.
I'm excited to watch it.
We will be doing the remake next week. The Billy Bob Thornton. You know, everything that you need to do, you know, like and subscribe, hit the bell, ring the button, do the whole thing. In this one, go slap a bunch of Jabbo stickers on your beer cans and hold them labels out, right? Spread the good word. I was on my elevator in my building today. Go to Pizza Hut and talk about it. I was on my elevator on my building today. And the doors close, and I see a podcast sticker on the door. Am I going to say it? Absolutely not. No free advertisements. But I see that sticker, and I'm like, brother, this is my territory. Get out.
I would scrape it right off. I would scrape it right off.
I peeled it off. I'm like, this is ridiculous. One, come on. Have a little bit of respect. Number one. And number two, the name of the podcast was so dumb. And I'm not even going to say. I don't even know what it's about. I didn't look it up. But, I mean, don't do that. Have a little respect. Put it on. Make a fake beer can label and hold it label out. Jabbo. All the other stuff. Like and subscribe. Thanks for getting your popcorn ready, folks. We will see you next Tuesday.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates.